Large language models, like OpenAI's GPT-4, have transformed how we interact with artificial intelligence. These models can generate coherent and contextually appropriate responses, leading to applications in various fields from customer services to creative writing. However, the behavior of these models also raises fascinating questions in the realm of philosophy, touching on topics like intelligence, consciousness, meaning, and ethics. From a philosophy of the mind perspective, the performance of large language models presents a challenge to our understanding of concepts like cognition, consciousness, and understanding. The famous Turing Test, proposed by Alan Turing, suggests that if a machine can convince a human that it is another human being through text-based communication, it should be considered as intelligent as a human. Some might argue that large language models, given their ability to carry out human-like conversations, pass this test. However, does mimicking human-like responses signify understanding or consciousness? This question brings to mind John Searle's Chinese room experiment. Searle proposed an experiment where a person in a room is given a set of rules to translate Chinese symbols to English, even though they don't understand Chinese. According to Searle, even if these translations are correct, the person does not truly understand Chinese. Similarly, while a large language model can process and generate text based on patterns and structures it learned during training, it does not truly understand the content in the way that humans do. It has no consciousness, beliefs, desires, fears, or experiences. It's executing complex pattern matching at a scale that can seem like understanding to observers. The field of semiotics, the study of signs and symbols, also provides valuable insights. Large language models deal with words and sentences, the fundamental signs and symbols of human language. But while they can generate syntactically correct and semantically plausible sentences, they lack the capacity for genuine semantic understanding. In semiotics, meaning arises not just from the words themselves, but from the context in which they are used and the intent of the user. For a language model, the meaning of the words it generates is merely statistical, derived from patterns it learned during its training on large text corpora. It doesn't have personal experience or emotions to attach to these words, nor does it understand the cultural and historical context that often gives language its deeper meaning. Large language models also raise important ethical questions. They're trained on vast amounts of data from the internet, which inevitably includes biased and potentially harmful information. Since these models learn from the patterns in their training data, they can perpetuate these biases in their output, leading to concerns about fairness and representation. There is also the question of responsibility and accountability. If a large language model generates harmful or false information, who is responsible? The users who prompted the problematic output, or should the AI itself bear some responsibility? These are complex questions without clear answers, reflecting the challenges of applying traditional ethical and legal frameworks to the novel context of AI. Lastly, there's the epistemological question of how much we can know about the internal workings of these large language models. With potentially billions of parameters, understanding why a model generates a specific response can be challenging. This black box nature of AI poses issues for transparency and interpretability, crucial aspects for building trust in AI systems. In conclusion, the behavior and capabilities of large language models open fascinating philosophical questions. While they demonstrate impressive feats of apparent understanding and cognition, they fundamentally challenge our concepts of intelligence, consciousness, and meaning. They also raise important ethical and epistemological questions that society needs to address to fully integrate these technologies into our daily lives. Philosophy can provide a framework for grappling with these novel questions and their implications. The thought experiments and theoretical explorations carried out by philosophers for centuries can give us valuable perspectives on the perplexing issues posed by large language models. From Descartes' meditations on first philosophy to Searle's Chinese room, these philosophical examinations can provide a foundation for our discussions of artificial intelligence. In the realm of ethics, philosophers have dealt with questions of responsibility and accountability for millennia. How do we determine who is responsible for an action? How do we distribute blame or credit? How do we ensure justice? These questions are as pertinent to artificial intelligence as they are to human affairs. As we continue to develop and use large language models, we must carefully consider the ethical dimensions of their deployment. The potential for the spread of misinformation, the amplification of harmful biases, and the invasion of privacy are real and pressing concerns. Establishing guidelines, regulations, and best practices are essential to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly and ethically. Similarly, the black box problem of AI brings us back to the philosophical field of epistemology, the study of knowledge and justified belief. How do we truly know something? What constitutes a justified belief? When dealing with AI, how can we achieve a level of transparency and understanding that satisfies our need for knowledge and justification? In the face of these issues, interdisciplinary collaboration between AI researchers, ethicists, philosophers, policymakers, and other stakeholders is crucial. Only through such concerted efforts can we navigate the philosophical puzzles presented by large language models and ensure that these remarkable technologies are harnessed for the benefit of all. Thus, philosophy, far from being rendered obsolete by the march of technology, finds itself at the center of our quest to understand and integrate artificial intelligence into our societies. The strange quantities of large language models do not just challenge our technical capabilities, they challenge us to think deeply about what we value, what we know, and who we are. The exploration of these questions is not just the domain of the philosopher, but a collective endeavor of humanity as we stand at the threshold of this new AI-infused era.